How Airbnb turned $20,000 into a $100 billion business. Imagine being so broke you couldn't even afford your apartment's rent. Now, imagine turning that problem into one of the biggest travel companies in the world. Airbnb is worth billions of dollars today, but it almost never existed. The founders were rejected by investors, maxed out their credit cards, and even sold cereal boxes just to keep the company alive. This is the true story of how Airbnb changed the way millions of people travel, and the business lessons anyone can learn from it.
In 2007, Brian Chesky and Gebbia were living together in San Francisco. They were talented designers, but they had one major problem. They couldn't afford rent. That same week, a large design conference came to the city. Every hotel was fully booked. That's when they had an unusual idea. Instead of letting visitors struggle to find hotels, why not rent out space in their apartment? They bought 3 air mattresses, cleaned their living room, and created a simple website called Airbnb and Breakfast. 3 guests booked. It wasn't much money, but it proved something important. People were willing to stay in a stranger's home. Encouraged by their first customers, Brian and Joe invited Nathan Blecharczyk to become the company's 3rd co-founder. Nathan handled the technology, while Brian and Joe focused on design and customer experience. The team believed they had discovered a huge opportunity. The rest of the world disagreed. Investor after investor rejected them. Many people laughed at the idea. Who would trust strangers? Who would sleep inside someone else's house? The company was running out of money. Credit cards were almost maxed out. Their savings disappeared. Most startups would have quit. Airbnb didn't. During the 2008 U.S. presidential election, the founders noticed something interesting. People were buying campaign merchandise. So they designed limited edition cereal boxes. One supported Barack Obama. The other supported John McCain. The boxes sold for around $40 each. Surprisingly, customers loved them. The founders made about $30,000. That money didn't make them rich. It simply kept Airbnb alive long enough to keep building it. Sometimes survival, not profit, is the biggest victory for a startup. Soon after, Airbnb was accepted into Y Combinator, one of the world's most respected startup accelerators. The founders received funding and, more importantly, mentorship. One piece of advice changed everything. Go meet your customers. Instead of staying in an office, Brian flew across the country. He visited hosts in person. He noticed many listings had poor quality photos. So he borrowed a camera and photographed homes himself. The better photos dramatically increased bookings. This simple improvement showed that great businesses succeed by solving real customer problems, even if the solution seems small. Airbnb also introduced secure payments, reviews, host profiles, and customer support. Little by little, trust replaced fear. As trust grew, more hosts joined. More guests booked. The marketplace expanded rapidly. Soon, Airbnb wasn't just available in the United States. It spread across Europe, Asia, Australia, and hundreds of other destinations. Millions of travelers realized they could stay in unique homes instead of expensive hotels. Families could rent entire houses. Backpackers could save money. Property owners discovered a new source of income. What started with 3 air mattresses had become a global business operating in thousands of cities. Airbnb's story teaches several powerful lessons. First, many successful businesses begin with a personal problem. Brian and Joe didn't start with a billion-dollar plan. They simply needed rent money. Second, rejection doesn't determine success. Dozens of investors said no. The founders kept improving anyway. Third, small improvements create massive results. Better photos, better customer support, and better trust transformed the entire business. Finally, the companies that win usually solve real problems instead of chasing trends. Today, Airbnb has helped millions of people travel around the world. It all started because two roommates couldn't pay their rent. The next billion-dollar idea might not come from a fancy office or a huge investment. It might begin with a problem you're facing right now. If you enjoyed this business story, subscribe for more documentaries about the companies, entrepreneurs, and ideas that change the world.